Hello and welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are all doing good. Thank you to everybody who is subscribed to the 0%.net for all things express trust, foreign tax exemption, transferring tax liability over to an exempt organization, and for all things law as much as we can, right? So in this video, I want to talk about the beneficial ownership information reporting. A lot of you have inquired about it, and it is something that I think you all need to know how to do with the organization FinCEN. Of course, this came about around January 1st of 2024 as a requirement for all limited liability companies or S or C corporations, including limited liability partnerships, aka law firms. If you are a general partnership, they also have a requirement for you to fill out information as well. This is all under a new act, a new charter through the United States Department of Treasury. And what they are trying to do is attempt to collect information to prevent fraud amongst international and national organizations. So if you have successfully completed the 8832 process, reclassifying your domestic entity into a foreign entity as a disregarded entity, then you're fine. There is no such thing as something that's coming after you, no penalty or fee. However, there are those who are still working on that. Now, this is something you can do right now. If your company has been registered with any form of seal of the office of the Secretary of State, then you may get a notice, depending on the email address you have filed with the Secretary of State in your state. That information will be given to FinCEN, and they will send you an email saying, hey, it's time for you to go ahead and fill out this information and let us know who is the beneficial owner of your company. And of course, you do not want to list yourself as the sole member of an LLC, and you do not want to list yourself as the main shareholder of a corporation. You want to utilize, and this is your opportunity to utilize your foreign trustee. If you do not have one, get in contact with us. We'll get you one. I will show you how to fill out the information with your foreign trustee so you can avoid future penalties, fines, imposts, duties, and what have you. So before we get into the how-tos of it, let us take a look at some of FinCEN's frequently asked questions section right here. Just a few sections of it, and then we'll get started. So let's look at let's go down to section B1. I think it's important to look at. What is the reporting process? Should my company report beneficial ownership information now? It says a reporting company created or registered to do business before January 1st, 2024 will have until January 1st, 2025 to file its initial BOI report. A reporting company created or registered in 2024 will have 90 calendar days to file after receiving an actual or public notice that its creation or registration is effective. So even though you have, you may have received this email and you probably didn't respond within 3 months or 90 days, you know that the process that we teach and the documentation that we put on the record is still going to protect you, such as the proper DBAs, such as the proper non-UCCs, the proper UCC1s, and even UCC3s. And correcting information on the Secretary of State level. Like I said, you want to make sure that the name that is on a driver's license, the name that is on a green card, a residential card, legal resident card, anything like that where they would consider you to be a franchisee under their franchise, they're going to hold you accountable to this 90 days. So it's proper. It is very crucial that you do the steps that we talk about in the course. Last point here, a reporting company created or registered on or after January 1st, 2025, you will have 30 calendar days to file this information. All right, let's go down to, let's look at B4. Will there be a fee for submitting the BOI information? No, there is no fee, so do not worry about that. Let's go down to like section C, reporting information. So what companies will be required to report beneficial ownership information to FinCEN? There are two types of reporting companies. Number one, domestic reporting companies are corporations, limited liability companies, and any other entity created by the filing of a document with a Secretary of State or any similar office in the United States. So again, that Secretary of State is very important. Remember, he is connected to the bishop, the great pope, and that holds a different office in all of the United States. They're under the UniJoint. You need to look at that word, UniJoint, and look at the acronym for it. Look at the document. That is how all Secretary of States are considered corporation souls. And if you place yourself or your business under a corporation soul, you are now a franchisee unless you file your documents such as articles of incorporation or articles of organization with these corporation souls. You have to file them a certain way, right? A foreign reporting company, those are entities including corporations and LLCs. Other countries have those entities as well. You may form them under the law of a foreign country that have registered to do business in the United States by the filing of a document with a Secretary of State. Now, when you see this right here where it says foreign reporting companies, I know they just said that that is a company that is formed under the law of a foreign country. And then you take that same registration from that foreign country and you register it inside of the United States. That means I have an LLC in Antigua, which is looked upon as foreign. I take those same documents and I register them in New Mexico. That same scenario applies to a company that I have created in Delaware, and I take those same documents and I record them as a foreign entity in the state of New York. New York will see my Delaware company as a foreign company because Delaware is a country. All the 50 states within the Union are separate countries. That's why they have different constitutions, different Bill of Rights. Everything is different. They only come together militarily to form a union, which no other country or continent will do or has done. Okay, so they're also going to talk about the types of entities that are exempt. They say there are 23 types of entities that are exempt. What are they? It says, are some companies exempt from the reporting requirement? Yes, there are 23 types of entities which are exempt from the BOI reporting requirements. These entities include publicly traded companies meeting a specified requirements. Many are nonprofits and certain large operating companies. Let's go through the list here and see if one of these pertains to us. Securities reporting issuer. That's a company that's created for SEC purposes. And you see that right there on number 8. Number 8 says Securities Exchange or Clearing Agency. So we know that the depository trust company is definitely exempt. Of course, they wrote the laws. Of course, they're going to make themselves exempt. But let's go back to number 2. A governmental authority, a bank, credit union, depository institution, holding company, money services business. That's all of your local on the corner cash businesses, payday advances. Number 7, broker or dealer in securities. Number 9, other exchange act registered entity, investment company, a venture capital fund advisor, insurance company, a state licensed insurance producer, commodity exchange act registered entity, accounting firm, public utility, financial market utility, pooled investment vehicle, and this is where all of the birth certificates and the bonds go into. So we know they're going to be exempt. Now, this is exempt because of the specific UCC1 agriculture lien that we looked upon a few months ago. And there was a certain dollar amount that is considered tax exempt. I'm going to give you a jewel first. This may be a jewel to some people, but it was pretty enlightening to me. If you go back to that UCC1 agriculture lien, and it talked about a certain dollar amount, $14.3 quadrillion lien on all the people with real hands and real legs and all land. It is forever a special lien on the land. This is why you pay property taxes, which is collected for the Department of Agriculture, hence the word agriculture lien. Now, if you notice on that document, there was a positive number of 14.3 quadrillion, and there was also a negative 14.3 quadrillion, which means a credit. So let me ask you this. If all money in the existence, in the circulation of the United States of America, the number one US dollar that is running the world, the petrodollar, if all of it is exempt and it is a credit, and when it comes to a tax return, and I say that my business or myself has earned $250,000 per year, my energy has been placed throughout the year in circulating that negative money, right? I circulated that money just like you did. So if I were to report $250,000, I shouldn't be reporting it as $250,000. Instead, I should be reporting it as negative $250,000, which is a credit. If 14.3 quadrillion is already discharged, or it is already tax exempt, then there is no taxes to be paid. I find that very enlightening. And it has done wonders for a lot of people, and it helped people to understand the word tax return. It means a return to the issuer, to you, not to a specific agency that works with the Treasury. Number 19, tax exempt entity. Number 20, entity assisting a tax exempt entity. Number 21, large operating company. 22, subsidiary of certain exempt entities. And 23, inactive entities. There are a lot of inactive entities registered with the Secretary of State. Here's another thing that you can do. If you wanted to place your company under number 23, don't file the annual fee. Let it go. Take that specific name exactly as it is. You file a DBA as an unincorporated association in the name of something else, a whole nother name. It could be the same name. It's just not going to be an LLC. It's not going to be a corporation. It is going to be a UA, an unincorporated association. So one part of it is inactive and the other side of the DBA is active. Now you find a state that will allow you to register your UA. There's only one that I know of right now, and that's California, $25 to do it. The other states, there's a lot of other states that don't do it. It doesn't mean that you can't utilize your UA in those states. Just have the DBA in the proper states to allow that company to function. And now you have just classified yourself as an inactive entity, because the UA in the state that doesn't record them is already considered an inactive entity. Why? It doesn't have to register with a Secretary of State. You may find UAs that are considered nonprofit organizations, but that is not the one that you want to set up. You want to set up a for-profit organization that is unincorporated. It is not incorporated with a corporation soul. That's how you can take advantage of 23, and you don't have to do this process that I'm about to show you. But if you still want to have your LLC, you have good marketing, you have a name for yourself, the business is flowing, it is generating money, let's do this. Let's continue with this process. Now, obviously, tax-exempt entity is what applies to us if we are going to continue to have our LLC, because we have the 8832 process complete. If not, we're still working on it. And I've also showed you how to actually do that with the SS4 application, right? You can do it directly with the SS4 application. So let's continue with tax exempt entity. Now I'm going to show an example from a company that I have out here registered in Sunbiz, which is Florida. And we're going to utilize the details here and place it on the beneficial ownership information, the e-portal, the online filing. How to do that. So we go back here, we'll go to the very beginning and we'll get started. Go to their main website and they have an e-filing section. Okay. You want to click Get Started. Now, the things that you need, the articles of organization or the online filing information with your Secretary of State. You need this online portal. You will need your foreign trustee's passport information. It must be valid. And you will need the address that you have used in connection with your foreign trustee, which would be the address you've provided on your SS4 in box number 5, which is the foreign address. All right. So let's go through this. Let's take our time and let's get it done. So let's prepare. I'm sorry, we don't want the paper version. We want to do it online. That'll be the second option. All right. So this will be for existing entities. If you are existing prior to January 1st, 2024, you would hit Initial Report. If this is new, such as within that 30 days, then you would hit Newly Exempt Entity. All right. It will pre-fill the date for you in box number 2. Here's additional information if you wanted to read it from the Office Management of Budget Department. But we're going to move forward and hit Next. Now, we do not have a FinCEN ID, so we are going to request a FinCEN ID. And let's give the legal company name. Now, this is where you come into play with your DBA. So first thing that we want to do is list our express trust name. And then the DBA name, which is the actual name with the corporation sole, the Secretary of State. If you have additional names, you can add that. Now, form of identification. We will list the EIN, and this is going to be the EIN for the actual LLC. Copy and paste. Country jurisdiction, if foreign tax ID only. I want to select the country. Oops, I'm going to take this dash out. And then my country here. Well, it will not let you do that because we entered tax ID. So moving on. Country, district of formation. Some of you have Switzerland, some of you have Nevis, Taiwan. A lot of you have trustees from all over. Where it says state of first registration, we skip. And let's enter the current US address. Now this is going to be the principal. City. United States of America, and the state would be Florida. Okay. Continue. Existing reporting company. Check if existing reporting company as of January 1st, 2024. Hit that button. Now we're going to go down to part 2. I'm sorry, you have to uncheck this button and then go down to part 2. This is where we enter our owner's information, legal name and date of birth. This would be your foreign trustee's information, starting with the last name. Okay. Enter the date of birth. Now the address type, you want to select whether it's residential or business. City, country again, same information from box 5 on the SS4. Now we want to put in their form of identification, which is from their foreign passport. Again, this is only if you have LLCs, corporations registered within the United States, okay? Or foreign corporations and foreign LLCs. If you do not have that, if you are operating as a sole proprietorship in your own business name, this is not for you. You do not have to do it. Okay. Now we're going to also have to drag and drop our foreign trustee's actual passport document. For those of you that have ordered a foreign trustee from us, we would do this process for you. If you have a foreign trustee from us, we have to do this process for you. We cannot give out their passports to everybody. We must protect them at all times. So just put in your requests and we will get this process done for you if you have a foreign trustee from us. All right. Go ahead and drag and drop right there. Let's go ahead and click. Then we have to do it once more. So we did the company applicant's information. The company applicant's information is still going to be your foreign trustee. We already did that. Now the beneficial owner, same information. So just repeat, hit continue. Then you would go ahead and put in the email address pertaining to your application. You put your name, which will be the foreign trustee's name. Government is doing these CAPTCHAs. All right, let's click submit. So what you want to do is download your transcript, keep all that information on Sunbiz, and see that the authorized member is not me. It is the trust. And I'm just simply a mere manager who's hired by the foreign trustee to do a specific job for this company here in Florida. I have nothing to do with none of its financial assets. All I do is do the job that I've been told to do by the foreign trustee. And that's what they're going to see. And that is what's going to determine this LLC that is registered with a Secretary of State to be exempt. All right. I hope this was beneficial to you. Please, like I said, if you do have a foreign trustee with us, give us the notice and give us the company, the state, and everything where it is registered. And we'll file that information to you or for you and get you your actual ID with FinCEN. All right. So with that being said, that's going to be it. I'm signing off and I'll see you all in the next video.